Hi guys, I'm here with Chris. My name's Mitch from Wealth Planning Partners. I'm just gonna ask Chris a couple of questions today about home insurance, car insurance, liability, that sort of stuff. We're just gonna give you a quick general advice warning too, so none of the stuff we talk about relates to product. We haven't taken into your financial circumstances, and we need you to read the PDS before you change any of your products or anything like that. So, um, Chris, would you like to introduce yourself quickly?
Yeah, g'day. Chris Lamb here from Action Insurance Brokers.
Cool. All right. So, um, I happen to be a homeowner at the moment, and my income has decreased a little bit since the coronavirus pandemic, and I'm trying to reduce some of my outgoings. Do you have any options for me there, Chris?
Look, there are a few options that you can look at. I would definitely advise that you should speak to either your insurance broker or your insurer, depending on how you've got your insurances set up at the moment. With your home insurance or landlord's insurance, if you have an investment property, there are two forms of cover, generally speaking, with those products, which are accidental damage and listed events, or sometimes referred to as defined events cover. Accidental damage is your broadest form of cover, but the premium is more expensive for that type of cover. So if you do have a look at potentially moving down to listed events cover, you are obviously reducing the cover, but you're going to save money that way. So that's something you can look at. It's not something we would advise, but it is something you can have a look at. Obviously, the excesses on the policy, you can look at increasing excesses, which is going to reduce your premium. And another option too is to review the current information that you have on that policy just to make sure that it is all correct.
All right, cool. So I can definitely look into that. I was just wondering as well. I'm a young guy, and I happen to drive a turbo vehicle at the moment. That insurance costs me a small fortune a year, as you know. So, is there anything I can do that can reduce my outgoings on that sort of insurance without taking a hit? So,
Yeah, look, there are options. Unfortunately, with the motor vehicle insurance, probably the only options that you do have is to reduce the cover that you do have at the moment. I would assume you probably have a comprehensive insurance on that vehicle,
yeah.
which is a full, broadest form of coverage in the market. Um, you can look at reducing that cover back to a third-party fire and theft or a third-party property damage only, which is going to be cheaper, but obviously you have less cover. Some of the insurers in the market are offering laid-up cover because people aren't using their vehicles as much, or reducing, depending on how it's set up. It might be set up under an annual kilometres driven, so you can look at potentially reducing the amount of kilometres driven each year, which should give you some premium relief.
All right. Well, since I'm working from home at the moment, that's probably a good idea, and I might end up working a couple of days from home. That could work, I suppose. Um, so, what if I was a tradie and I might have been contracting? I've got public liability and stuff like that. Is there anything I can do in that sort of area?
Yeah, there's options there too. You should really probably, again, have a chat with your insurance broker or your insurer to review the current information that's under that policy. So generally, these policies are rated on the business's turnover, how many employees there are, what type of business activities the business is actually undertaking, which is probably another thing that you really should review at the moment, because of the current pandemic, a lot of businesses have changed the nature of their activities. So you want to ensure that your policy is actually going to respond to claims for things that you may not have been doing previously. And then again, you can have a look at your excess, increasing the excess under the cover as well, which should give you some type of premium relief.
All right, cool. So, I am in the professional industry myself. What about my professional indemnity cover and stuff like that? If is there anything I can do there? If my job description allows for it, I might have to hold something at a recommended level. But is there anything I can do to reduce the outgoings on my professional indemnity?
Again, you're probably best off to review the fees that your business is going to, because when you set up the policy initially or when it came up for renewal, you would have been asked to estimate what the business's fees were going to be for the next 12 months, and that could have dropped with obviously the current situation. So if your fees have dropped, you can obviously review that with the insurer or your broker, and they can have a look at that and potentially provide premium relief that way.
Alright, cool. So there's a couple of things I can do. Is there any other insurance sort of questions that you'd like to answer that might be general for some of the other listeners out there at the moment?
Oh, look, I suppose if anyone has boats or jet skis or caravans, like with the motor vehicle insurance, some of the insurers in the market are providing laid up cover options, because I suppose most people aren't taking those things out at the moment. They're probably sitting at home, so you can look to get some premium relief that way. I know there is at least one insurer in the caravan market who is also providing discounts at the moment due to the current situation, so that might be a possible option to look into.
Alright, no worries. Well, I've done a little bit of research personally. I jumped onto the internet and went on to compare the market. I was comparing some insurance policies and just having a look. The premiums are all over the place. Do I need to look out for anything when I look at those reduced premiums and stuff like that? Is there anything I should know about?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I would always recommend that you go and consult with an insurance broker, even if you don't take that policy. Generally you do get what you pay for, and with insurance brokers, they usually have a badged wording, which means there needs to be minimum levels of cover met under the policy. So you're best off getting that advice, even if you don't go ahead with it. You're better to know what you're looking at than be completely unaware.
Yeah, okay. I'd rather not be left in the dark. If I was taking out a random insurance policy off the internet, that would be ideal. Alright, so we've covered just about everything off here. Do you have anything else you'd like to add before we close out today, Chris?
Not really, other than if you'd like to get in touch with me, my details will be left in the description of the video, and yeah.
Yeah, I'll put a plug at the end of the video with the numbers for Wealth Planning Partners and Action Insurance myself. So I'll put them in the video for you guys, so you can ring and have some chat, ask some questions. So Chris and I both, doesn't cost anything to say hello if you want to call and get some premium quotes or talk about your existing cover. You might have existing cover that Chris could reduce at the moment, or he might have cover that he can look at saving on the premiums without moving insurers or changing the risk. So like I said, it doesn't hurt to call. So if any of you are interested in just seeing what your options are, I'll leave our numbers and our contact details in the description and at the end of the video for you guys. Alright, so that's us done for today. Chris and I will be back to do some life insurance and stuff like that. So a lot of you guys might hold superannuation policies with life insurance inside them. Income protection policies, a lot of tradies need income protection to get on site, so we'll put that in the next video. Alright, I'm signing off now. Chris, see you later.
Thanks, Mitch.